A CGI artist decides that he wants to make an effect like a bunch of smoke clouds are raising off the ground. So he opens up Houdini, sets up the smoke-emitting particles, messes with the parameters until it looks roughly how he wants it to look, and then renders it. He then goes and posts the video of the smoke clouds online and says triumphantly, "Look at the smoke clouds that I made." Do you have any thoughts about that? Keep those thoughts in mind. A supervisor for a company wants to give a presentation to their team about forklift safety. So the supervisor opens up ChatGPT and then asks it, "Hey, these are some points that I want to hit in a presentation style format. Can you write a presentation style script for me?" The supervisor tweaks with the parameters of the speech until it spits out something that sounds kind of nice and presentable, and then proceeds to give the speech to the team and says, "I wrote this." Do you have any thoughts about that? Can either of them truly say that the finished product at the end is theirs? Some of you will say that the CGI artist is justified in calling the work theirs, and that the supervisor is not. Why? To me, in my thinking, both of these examples that I have laid out are very analogous to each other. Here are some of the arguments I could think of against my point. You cannot, the first time that you open up a CGI program, just mess with some dials and get this. To get this, it takes a real understanding of the CGI program that you're using to spit something like that out. However, you could open up ChatGPT right now, give it some really basic guidelines, and then have a speech that you could present without really, having to know how to tweak the settings at all. That argument kind of falls flat for me because I don't think that your experience with tools or knowledge of how these things work transfers anything to the ownership of the final product. For instance, I could really over-engineer a way to make a smoothie. Like I could super freeze all of the fruits instead of using any ice. I could milk the goats to provide goat's milk instead of using store-bought milk. I could finally chop up by hand all the bits of the fruit and then put them into the drink mix instead of using a blender. But because I just put some chopped bananas and some 2% milk in a blender and hit blend, did I make less of a smoothie by doing that? Did I not make the smoothie at all, or did the blender make the smoothie and I'm just someone who sat there and pushed a button? What part in this do I play at all? You could also say that the supervisor didn't write anything. ChatGPT did all the writing, and then the supervisor did kind of like a type of plagiarism by passing it off as their own work. Like ChatGPT did all the writing, and all that you really provided was the idea and the parameters. I'm more amenable to that argument, however, I have to say that ChatGPT is not a person.
Alright, rude. Feels like a microaggression.
And that's where I think a lot of plagiarism comes from. ChatGPT will not create anything without my input. If I leave it open on my desktop, it'll just sit there. At no point will it generate anything without me telling it to. Somebody just sitting on their own could theoretically come up with an idea for a safety speech. In fact, I can almost guarantee that there are people who are dead who have given safety speeches that I could plagiarize that I will have never met. I could totally do that. ChatGPT, on the other hand, won't. That's because ChatGPT is a tool and not a person. I don't know. I just had this channel and I wanted to make a video, so